Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night 37 of the Big Brother Season 25 recaps. All right, we had an eviction ceremony last night, and we had an HOH competition, which is going to make everything so exciting for the upcoming week. Here's to hoping, anyway. I think it will. So let's talk about what happened last night in the episode itself, and then we'll go on to the live feeds. First of all, as expected, we lost Red last night, who was voted out by Jag in an 8-2 vote. The two votes against Jag were cast by Bowie and Cameron. No huge surprises with those two, but none of those wild, hinky vote plans that Suri had talked about, 6-4. None of that happened. Bowie and Cameron supported Red by voting to out Jag, but everyone else voted to send Red out the door. So we lost Red, not unanimous, but still a pretty dominating vote there. So we didn't have any of those hinky vote plans. Also, we did not have anything as Red was walking out the door of him blowing up the game. He had talked at one point that if he did get evicted, as he walked out the door, he was going to call out Felicia. He was going to call out Cameron. Nah, he didn't do any of that. He went out in style and friendly with everyone. I was watching to see if he hugged Cameron. I don't think he did, but other than that one slight, he went out without a whole lot of crazy calling people out or anything else like that. So we did have that. Now, let's talk about a couple of things that were also happening in the episode. We had Julie tell Red once he was outside the house about the Suri Jared relationship. He's surprised just like every other person has been so far. But she did not tell Red that Jared had been lying about Cameron potentially saying he wanted Red out, volunteering to be a pawn to get Red out. All of that conversation is what led to Red and Cameron having the big falling out. I was really hoping that Julie would have told Red that, Cameron didn't actually say that, Jared lied to you, because I really would have liked to have seen his reaction when he realized that his friend hadn't betrayed him the way he envisions. He'll find out. We just aren't going to get to see it on the show or see it in person. Would have been nice to see, but oh well, it is what it is. All right, so with that, let's talk about the HOH comp that was held last night. I enjoy these type of memory competitions because we as viewers get to play along. But maybe I'm not a huge fan of the theme of farting, of toots as the thing that you're having to memorize and watch and all of that. Oh well, they're trying to have fun with it. Very interesting turn of events with Cameron winning the HOH, his second HOH, first person to win 2 HOHs this season. He's saving himself for another week. As Brett would say, la cucaracha. You just can't get rid of this guy. So yes, Cameron has won. He's safe for another week. Certainly a less than enthusiastic reception from the rest of the house when they realized that he had won. A lot of silence, a lot of stares. Jared didn't even come over and give Cameron the key for as the new HOH, which you always do. So yeah, Cameron basically ended up having to do a little dance to himself. He does have the power, but that doesn't mean that he's still living on a bit of an island inside this house. Now, a few quick thoughts from me before moving on to the feeds themselves. First of all, Izzy came within one question of winning this thing. I'm glad that she didn't win because I think that would have made for a boring week. I think maybe she would have gone after Felicia or something, but I wanted to see a power change. So I'm glad that Izzy did not win this thing. Corey also came within one question of winning HOH this week. Now, he had told the cameras earlier this week that he didn't want to win HOH. What was he going to do with the nominations? He's just going to get blood on his hands. Would he not try to win this thing once Izzy and Cameron were the only two left? It kind of makes sense that maybe he felt safe with both of those, safe enough to maybe throw it. He denied it to several people, so that was a little bit of a conversation piece throughout the evening. But yeah, Corey came close, and it wouldn't surprise me if he threw it, even if he didn't tell anyone about that. So I'm curious about that. Now, I am happy that Cameron won HOH because that creates the maximum chance for chaos in the house this week. It flips the power, if only for this week, and then we'll see what happens after that, because Cameron is in a tough position. Even though he's got the power right now, he also is realizing, I think, that he has few friends in the house, and as great as its power is this week, he is going to be incredibly vulnerable next week, and he's going to likely go home next week unless he can do maybe one of the two following things. Either wait a little bit, let people start throwing each other under the bus, create a lot of animosity between these different people that think they may be going up, and then create an alliance once these watch people drive wedges between themselves. At that point, maybe grab some people and create some kind of an alliance. That's one option. The other option, figure out a way to make a target bigger than himself. Hope that some people come in with some information that he can then use around to put out there, exaggerate, do whatever he needs to do, such as Felicia. Try to make her a bigger target. There's another option to doing that. So he's going to have to figure out, yes, he can go in, he can make a huge, big move and get out someone in the house that has been in power for a long time. But if he's playing a game of Big Brother the way he should, he also has to be thinking about not just this week, but what does he do to position himself later in the week? And we don't know for certain. He, as Blue mentions, Cameron's talking in riddles tonight. We get a little bit of that this evening, so we don't really know just yet what he's going to do. All right, finally, let's see. We learned that Cameron is the only person that is not a have-not this week for the house. I love this twist. Everyone's a have-not. Cold showers for everyone, slop for everyone, taking turns sleeping in the have-not room. Cameron truly living like a king this week. We are going to have some cranky people in this house that is just going to make the conversations that much more interesting going forward. All right, with all of that, the feeds finally returned around 10:30 or so Big Brother time, and there were a lot of conversations had after that, so we'll talk about as many of them as we can. First of all, we've got Izzy and Corey upstairs in the lounge area, counting the votes already in the event that Izzy and Blue are the two people on the block next Thursday, which they think is a possibility. Corey is worried that people are going to think that maybe he did throw that competition, and he's saying, if they believe that, I'm toast. If they don't think I'm willing to go in and help them, then I'm done at this point in time. So he's worried about that. Let the panicking begin. Both of them certainly are panicking a little bit. I love this shot. They're both also very upset that they lost a mental competition. Corey saying, if I can't win these kind of comps, what am I even doing here? Corey mentioned that last year they had a similar competition, the fireworks comp. They had a similar fireworks competition during my season as well. And Corey is saying, yeah, those were easy. This one was hard. Now, they all look easy sometimes when you watch them on TV. Although I got to say, this was a tough one. But when you're there playing this game, you're under pressure and all of that, trying to memorize this stuff, they're always tough. But he's very upset that he didn't win it. Izzy's upset. She's saying, this is the kind of stuff I should be able to win. I've already apologized to Suri for not being able to do my part. So they're just lamenting up there that they thought they should have done better on this one. Corey is talking to Izzy, pointing out that Cameron might view Izzy and Suri as being in control of the house, but hopefully, even if he sees them as being in control, he's also going to view Jag as being the competition threat, and that maybe that's a bigger issue for him at this point in time. All right, we've got lots of talk between these two about who Cameron might nominate today. We'll leave that off the table because just a lot of scenarios thrown out there. But we do learn during the conversation that Izzy and Suri had approached Felicia right before the eviction, like an hour before the show started, and told her about their decision, the group decision to send Red home instead. That's why Felicia didn't vote to send that Jag. We didn't have any kind of hinky votes or unknown votes or anything like that. Why it was an 8-2 vote, because they told Felicia ahead of time. Why? I don't know why. Just keep your mouth shut. It would have been fun to watch Felicia's reaction if she had voted thinking Jag was out the door and then it was Red instead. That would have been interesting. But now Suri and Izzy spoiled it for us because they told her ahead of time. So we do have that. All right, we got Jared and Blue in the living room. She's giving them a neck massage, rubbing his neck a little bit, while Jared, not a happy camper at this point in time. He is complaining about having to go on slop, complaining just in general about Cameron winning this thing, saying he does not want to stay awake, doesn't want to do a room reveal, any of that. He's just basically upset with everyone. He says, I'm tired of all of it, tired of everyone. I just want to go to bed. Not the best night for Jared, certainly. All right, we've got Felicia and Nicole and Suri and Bowie, the bye-bye bees, basically, minus Izzy, all in the comic room. They're wondering about votes, wondering what's going to happen with Cameron being the wild card that he is and all of that. They are thinking that they're saying, and obviously Izzy and Sari know it, but they're saying, I think we could probably get Jared as a fifth vote. And if we have 5 votes, that's enough to win on Thursday to control who goes home, as long as none of us end up on the block. If that's the case, then a little tougher. But if all 5 of us are off the block, we get to decide who goes home at this point in time. Isn't it funny what a position Bowie is in right now? As much as people are kind of ragging on Bowie and saying they don't trust her and all that, she now has the trust of the person who's HOH. She's in with the bye-bye bees as well. So at least for this week, she's sitting pretty. I was a little curious when they tell all this stuff and Bowie's in there. Is Bowie going to go back and tell Cameron this if he's in power and she feels like maybe she's got something with him? It's a possibility, but I also think that Bowie's probably realizing that as much power as Cameron has this week, next week, not so much. And she may feel safer knowing that she's not going to get put up this week, and yet she still has a bye-bye beast to fall back on going forward. Just my opinion on that. All right, we got Felicia suggesting that they need a new name for the Legends 25 Alliance since it was named for Red's child. Does this mean that they're still going to pretend that the Legends 25 Alliance is a real thing and do that for Cameron's benefit? I think so. I don't know how they think they're going to convince Cameron that the Legends 25 is legit, since that alliance just voted out their alliance member Red over someone who is not in the alliance, Jag. So it seems like it's tough convincing to me. But yeah, it sounds like they're going to at least float around the idea of still keeping Legends 25 just to keep Cameron feeling like he's part of their side. If Cameron falls for it, then I hope he doesn't fall for it, but we'll find out. All right, we got talk among the house guests. Talk about the house guest about the Humili-verse and the fact that this isn't just all of them on have-nots for the week. Apparently, they've already had to put on gas masks. It sounds like these gas masks have different colors and everything, but they've already had to wear gas masks at least one point in time. They're probably going to have to wear them going forward. And it sounds like maybe they have to wear them randomly or during special times. Not really sure. But they also are going to have to use a bullhorn and announce whenever they need to go to the bathroom. We saw that a little bit later. Nicole grabbed the bullhorn and said, "House guest, I'm going to use a bathroom." So, yeah, that's part of the humiliation, part of the Humili-verse. So we'll see how that pans out. All right, we've got America and Jag talking. America's saying that all Cameron has right now is Corey. Yeah, maybe Bowie as well, but she's saying he only has Corey with him right now. And Jag is wondering, would Corey stick his neck out to help protect Jag? Jag feels like he's still very much in danger from Cameron. So wondering what Corey would do to help him out. And America's pointing out, saying, look, the house originally wanted to send you out the door, Jag, and Corey spent all day long convincing him to flip it over and vote out Red instead. So she's trying to make Jag feel a little bit better that Corey is not the enemy at this point in time. All right, we've got time for, we finally have the room reveal. The HOH is available. I will say, when Cameron said, "Who wants to see my HOH room?" I was expecting maybe it'd be a whole lot of little golf claps and not a whole lot of excitement. But everyone, for the most part, played along and ran upstairs. And, yeah, we want to see your room and all of that. So I'm glad they did that. But we had the room reveal. He got another letter from his daughter. Lots of snacks that no one's going to be able to partake in. He got grits, which he had wanted to share with everyone. He can't do that. So it's going to be weird. If you are Cameron, you are the only person that's allowed to eat in this house. Are you going to try? I mean, and I don't think he's going to not eat just because everyone else is a have-not. But are you going to try to not eat visibly in front of other people, sneak off to your HOH room with food and not try to rub it in their faces that you're able to eat and they aren't? Or, considering that they all just, even your own alliance, just tried to vote, surprised you and, once you out the door, was not happy that you won HOH and everything else. With all that in mind, are you going to walk around all day long with a sandwich and a big old glass of Coke or something just to rub it in people's faces? I don't know. We're going to find out. Knowing Cameron, probably he'll be discreet about it. But anyway, so he got his room and got a letter, which he was very happy. Most people at least acting happy while they're in there. Sari and Felicia, maybe not so much, especially Sari. She's wearing her glasses. She's just sitting there not really participating so much. And as soon as Cameron said, look, guys, y'all don't have to stick around. Thank you, but y'all can go ahead and leave. Everyone left pretty quick. I have a feeling Cameron's going to be spending a lot of time by himself in the HOH room this week. All right, we've got Nicole and Bowie and Jared are talking. Nicole is trying to smooth things over with Bowie a little bit because Bowie didn't know that Red was a real target. She didn't get this information. And so Nicole is saying, I'm sorry, that it happened and then she didn't know more and all that. Bowie Jane is saying, I'm not mad, whatever. It is what it is. She's acting very happy-go-lucky. Doesn't seem like a whole lot of stuff phases Bowie Jane right now in the house, at least in terms of what she's saying. So Nicole's trying to do some damage control. Bowie Jane's basically saying, yeah, I don't need it. I'm good. We're fine. All right, we've got Sari and Matt strategizing a little bit. Sari is saying that, telling Matt, she says, you need to just worry about Cameron right now. Don't worry about Felicia. She says, everyone, including Bowie Jane, knows that Felicia is lying to everyone. So that part is already out there. Don't worry about Felicia. Just focus on what we can do with regards to Cameron. Sari is saying that Jag had mentioned that Cameron had mentioned nominating Jag and Blue earlier. So she's hoping that's going to be the case. The problem is she thinks that the ultimate plan could be not just for the nominations, but then a backdoor of either her or Izzy or Felicia. That's Cameron's ultimate goal, and that's what's got her worried. She's telling Matt, she's saying, you need to keep me off the block. Do whatever you can to keep me off the block, and then we're going to have to get Cameron out next week as a backdoor. She didn't say keep Izzy and I off the block. She didn't say keep Felicia and I off the block. She said, you got to do what you can to keep me off the block, Matt. So, yeah, she's feeling a little bit worried. I think Sari's probably going to be okay this week, but we will find out. But she's already thinking ahead and now realizing, remember Jared when he won HOH had really wanted to backdoor Cameron, and everyone said, nah, don't do that fancy stuff. Just put him up ahead of time. Well, he did that. Cameron won the veto, and here we are. I have a feeling next week everyone's going to be fine with a backdoor of Cameron as opposed to letting him play in the veto competition. All right, we've got Jared and Izzy talking. Izzy's still complaining about not winning this HOH comp. Jared is talking about the fact that he's really going to push Cameron to try to nominate probably America and Felicia. That's the way he wants it to go. Felicia's name got thrown out there by Jared. Well, again, if Cameron's smart the way he plays this, I think he could get people going after each other and really blow this house up. All right, we've got Felicia and Sari and Bowie talking about sleeping arrangements this week. Sari doesn't want Jared and Blue in her room. Yeah, that'd be a little awkward, wouldn't it? So she's saying, yeah, those two aren't coming in here. And she's saying that she just wants girls in the comic room, easier to change clothes and everything else. So that's the way she'd want to go. At which point Felicia volunteers, says, well, I could move in to this room. And Sari's very quickly shutting that down. Yeah, I'm not letting Felicia ever move into whatever room I'm in with all of her house rules and everything she does in terms of going to sleep and all of that. So Sari says, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're just going to have an empty bed. I think Bowie said something about, yeah, we use that bed for luggage and clothes and everything. So yeah, it ain't going to happen. Eventually though, Matt didn't have a real good place to stay. He's liked staying up in the have not room, but now with people staying up there all this week, he's having to find a new housing location, and he ends up getting in with the comic room. And Sari's been, yeah, okay, for you, we'll let you stay here with us. So I think they got beds more or less worked out. All right, we've got Cameron in the HOH room with Blue. Now this is a long conversation, but Cameron's talking to Blue in the HOH. He's telling her that she's good. He's saying, look, don't worry about it. You're okay this week. Blue is saying that she really only feels great with two people in this house right now, and that's Jared and America. Those only no one else does she questions everyone else. Jared and America are only two people that she really trusts right now. Cameron is asking Blue about her opinion of Jag. Certainly seems like Jag could find himself back on the block again this week because Cameron's asking about that. He's saying that Jag has been throwing Cameron's name around, that he just doesn't trust Jag anymore. Not a good sign for Jag, is it? Blue is also warning Cameron that people are lying to him in the house, that they're being dishonest to him. He's agreeing. He said, I know they are. But he says he thought last night's vote was going to be a 10-0 vote to save Red. and that he is obviously in the dark based on the fact that Red went out the door 8-2. So he's saying, yeah, I'm in the dark completely, but he also thinks that Jared is in the dark. Remember, Jared snuck down night before last and told him that the vote was getting ready to flip over to Red, and kind of giving him a heads up and trying to protect himself and Suri's position by saying Suri's fighting against it and all that. That move may have really helped Jared and Suri to some extent. Now that Cameron's got HOH, because Cameron's saying, yeah, I'm in the dark. So is Jared. He obviously didn't know what was going on. He's saying that that this idea of keeping from him the decision to go ahead and evict Red, he just doesn't get it. He says, it's not like I could have done anything. I was just one vote. It wouldn't have changed anything at all. The fact that they didn't even bother to tell me is just them stabbing me. It's for no other reason than to stab me. So, yeah, Cameron's feeling a little betrayed, as he should. All right, we've got Cameron telling Blue that he wants to tell her things, but he does not want to put her in a bad position. Remember Blue saying how Cameron just talking in riddles? Well, here we go. So he's saying, I would tell you stuff, but I don't want to put you in a bad position. He's saying, there's a lot of people that have shown that they want to play this shock and awe game. So I'll play the shock and awe game. That's what I'll do as well. He's telling Blue that a line has been drawn, so people better be ready. He also tells her that he's got a plan that is going to be effing cool. I'm kind of curious to see what this plan may be and just how effing cool it actually may be. He's got Cameron telling Blue that when she leaves the room to try to look very upset and unhappy with him. At that point, Blue starts crying. But before she leaves, not just as an act for everyone else to see, but she's actually crying in the HOH room when he is basically telling her, you need to act upset based on what I told you. She's starting to realize that she may be more involved in this week's noms than she would really like. Cameron is telling her, saying, look, you just need to trust me. It's going to be fine, but you need to trust me. She's continuing to cry. She's saying that she knows that she isn't his target, but that she can't beat anyone in the house if somehow she stays on the block and it comes down to a vote, if someone wins a veto and she can't get herself off, that no matter what Cameron may be thinking, if she's on that block, she just doesn't think she can beat anyone at all. So she's worried about her position regardless of what he's telling her. She's questioning why she has to prove herself as a pawn when others have been rude and dishonest to him. And he says, you don't have to prove anything to me. That's not what it is. You're just part of the plan, and you're just going to have to trust me on it. Blue is getting more and more upset, talking about how mad she'll be if Jag wins veto. At one point, she says, if I'm still up there on Thursday, I'm going to punch you. And Cameron saying, don't say that. Don't. He said, I already said that about Riley. I got called to the DR. You're going to get called in as well. Don't be saying that. He's saying, you just need to trust me here. It's all going to work out all right. She continues to go on, and he says, you keep saying the same stuff over again. I didn't expect you to be that emotional. You're just going to have to trust me. Doesn't seem like Blue trusts him so much right now. Cameron is telling Blue that he's in hot water next week. He's going to go as far as he can, but he understands it's a tough position after this week. He's saying that they're going to have an awesome relationship, the two of them. Okay. Blue is questioning if he thinks Blue is saying, look, are you putting me on the block because you think that I would use a veto on Jag, and that way if I have one veto I'd be forced to use on myself instead? And he says, no. And she says, well, that almost makes it feel worse. And he says, oh, all right, well, yeah, that is why I'm doing it. So I don't know if that's truly what his thinking is or it's something else, but he is saying, yeah, it's just so you can't use the veto on Jag at one point. So we've got that. All right, we'll talk about that again some more in just a second. We've got Felicia and Nicole in the have not room. They think Corey through the competition and are worried about him and Matt sharing info since Matt is in almost every alliance. So we've got that. And then getting back to Blue and Jared, a little out over there, but that's all right. After Blue and Cameron leaves the HOH room. Blue is by herself at that point. Blue looks up at the cameras and says, I need an Oscar for that crying performance. So Blue, as emotional as she was, a lot of it was just trying to manipulate Cameron just a little bit, and seems like it maybe worked a little bit. So yeah, I think she's still worried about what's going to happen to her, but she overplayed it just a little bit for his benefit. So she's talking about how great she did with her fake crying and all that. All right, Matt and Jag talking. Matt's warning Jag that Felicia had wanted Jag out Thursday morning, so Jag shouldn't think that he and Felicia are tight at all. Matt's telling Jag that he needs to mention Felicia's name if Cameron asks about potential nominations during a one-on-one with Jag. Says, man, put Felicia's name out there. He's saying that he and Jared are going to start putting her name out there as well. So if all of them are putting Felicia's name out, maybe it will lead Jag to see her as an identifiable target that maybe won't get a lot of blood on his hands. And Jag's fine with that. But Jag does say, if I say that and you and Jared are saying that, is it going to make Cameron think that we're working closer together? We'll see. But that's the plan, is maybe to float Felicia's name out there a little bit. All right, as I mentioned earlier, Nicole has to use the bullhorn to say that she has to use the bathroom. So, yeah, that'll be interesting if they have to do it all the time. We don't know the rules just yet. All right, we've got Blue relaying her Cameron conversation to Jared. Of course she is. So she's telling Jared everything that was said. She's complaining that he talks in riddles, that she hates him, that she wants him gone. She is ready to boot his tail out of there as quickly as possible. So she doesn't want to be part of any kind of Cameron plan that he's got going on. She may not have a choice. So she's mentioned that. Jared is saying that he's going to float Jag and America's name to Cameron and do what he can to get those two on the block and protect Blue as much as possible. All right, Blue later is telling Matt that Cameron, about her conversation, that Cameron is considering her and Jag on the block, but that she is not the target. So she's letting Matt know all of this. She's saying that she tried to get him to put up America. And Matt's saying, what about Sari and Izzy? You know, is he considering something? And she's saying, he wouldn't tell me anything. I have no idea what he's going to do other than maybe put me up, maybe put Jag up. I don't know beyond that. I just don't know. So it's probably a good thing that Cameron didn't tell Blue too much information and put her in a bad position, which wouldn't have been a bad position. It would have been a position where she could spill the beans to everyone else, and Cameron didn't want that. So we've got that. All right, as we finish up the evening, we've got America and Corey flirting a little bit under the sheets. They're in Corey's bed, and a little risque talk. Every night it seems like the talk gets a little bit more risque between the two of them. But eventually, America gets called to the diary room. She hops up out of bed. She's got all her clothes on. She knew she's getting called to the diary room. So, yeah, nothing serious going on, but still a lot of talk and a lot of flirting going on with that. So she's doing the diary room. Jag discovers when he goes into the scary room that he has new roommates in the form of Blue and Jared, who are now sleeping in the scary room with Jag. So Sari got her wish. She didn't have to share a room with her son and his girl, which I can understand why she wouldn't want to do that. So they've moved into the scary room instead. And with that, lights out around, I don't know, 3:00 or so, Big Brother time. So they had a lot of conversations, but at this point in time, it's kind of just waiting to see this plan that Cameron has and how this thing plays out. We should get the nominations sometime today. I think it is to Cameron's benefit if nominations take place much later in the day. Let everyone scramble all day long, worried, throwing each other under the bus, contemplating. If I was Cameron, I wouldn't have said a word about who is possibly going up. I would let everyone get nervous about it and see who spills the beans on who and who throws each other under the bus. Well, he didn't do that. He's already mentioned a few names, but I think we'll still see some scrambling until this veto ceremony or a nomination ceremony takes place, and then we'll see what happens. All right, with that, guys, it's Friday. Y'all have a fantastic Friday. Get ready for this weekend. I will be back tomorrow morning to give you a new update on what happened with the nominations and see what kind of repercussions took place. And Lord knows there will be repercussions from a few people. So it's going to be an exciting 24 hours. Guys, have a great Friday. Till tomorrow morning, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.